everyone. So my name is Shannon Seberg, and I'm from the Lipedema Foundation, and I wanted to take a few moments today to share with you some of our goals and programs. For disclosures, we have nothing to disclose. So first of all, who makes up the Lipedema Foundation? So Felicity Daftoir is our founder and executive director. She's also a lipedema patient. She is the former president of the FDRS and a current board member. Next up, we have Eric Lontok, who is our chief science officer. He's formerly with the Milken Institute. Danielle Wildstein is the VP of operations and makes sure everything is running smoothly with Lipedema Foundation. And everything that I'm going to tell you today is available on our website, which is lipedema.org. Lipedema Foundation is focused on lipedema research because the mission of Lipedema Foundation is to define, diagnose, and develop treatments for lipedema patients. Our strategy to accomplish this is to support collaborative research that addresses the basic biology, genetics, and epidemiology of lipedema. We focus on these topics because I think we can all agree that we know very little of what is going on with lipedema patients from a basic or a clinical sense. We are also interested in the genetic aspects, as several studies say that lipedema can be inherited, but how and what genes is not yet known. And lastly, epidemiology, or exactly how many women have the disease, is not known. And if we improve our diagnostic tools, then we can eventually find and help diagnose all the women who suffer from lipedema. In all the work we do and the projects we support, we look for the following values. Transparency, in that we make sure that those working with us are willing to talk about and share their research with Lipedema Foundation and the broader community. Collaboration, in that we're looking not to duplicate research, but prefer work that leverages Lipedema Foundation's and each grantee's resources. And lastly, community, in that we actively support work that will help build and educate the lipedema research community. As we are focused on defining a lipedema research space, it's also very important to share that there are specific things that we don't do, such as patient support and outreach, as this is a major focus of the FDRS. We don't do lobbying, politics, or insurance challenges around the condition, as the lymphedema advocacy group are the leaders in that space. And we also don't provide support for garments or treatment funds for patients, as the National Lymphedema Network, NLN, is the resource for those efforts. And lastly, because we are focused on lipedema research, we do not have specific research funds for Madelung's, Derkham's disease, familial multiple lipomatosis, or FML. But as Dr. Herbst has said, since these are all fat tissue disorders, a better understanding of lipedema should contribute to a better understanding of all of these conditions. And please know that when we talk to researchers, we make a point to say that lipedema is only one of many fat tissue disorders, and encourage researchers to look into and consider Derkham's, Madelung's, and FML. Like many diseases that we don't know much about, we will need to first build the lipedema research field. And to do this and ultimately benefit patients, we will need to develop diagnostic tools to determine who has lipedema via blood tests, genetic tests, or imaging of lipedema fat, understand what is going wrong in lipedema cells and tissue or disease pathogenesis, identify biomarkers of lipedema based on what is going wrong, and diagnostic tools. All of these efforts contribute to developing treatments. As we better define what makes a lipedema patient, then we can figure out how to treat and truly improve the outlook for patients. And what have we done so far? Dr. Karen Herbst at the TREAT program, which you all know about at the University of Arizona, lipedema genetics in families and individuals at St. George's Hospital in the UK, sodium MRI and imaging of lipedema tissue at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, lipedema basic research, fat buildup in mouse model at Columbia University in New York City, lymphatics in fat mice at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, adipose and lymphatic communication in Toronto at the Hospital for Sick Children, metabolite treatment for lymphedema at the University of Leuven in Leuven, Belgium. And the Lipedema Research Roadmap, Lipedema Research Project and the Scientific Roadmap at the Milken Institute Center for Strategic Philanthropy in Washington, D.C. So we held the first ever Lipedema Research Retreat in October of 2016, where we had clinicians like Karen and researchers like Shelley discuss the key research questions and opportunities in lipedema. We had 33 attendees spanning 17 research and clinical expertise. Based on this meeting and the year-long research, the project published the Lipedema Giving Smarter Guide, and this report discusses epidemiology, health burden, diagnosis, staging, and prognosis, treatments, disease biology, and key research questions. I won't read all of this next slide, but at the end of that report, we have listed the key unmet research needs and opportunities that the project has identified. The project went very well, and in fact, at the end of the project, we ended up hiring Eric Lontok, who is now our Chief Science Officer. So what's in store for Lipedema Foundation for 2017? Well, for researchers, we are currently accepting research proposals for collaborative, single PI, postdoc, and graduate student-driven research. And we are really flexible, and are open to ideas. So contact us if you have any ideas, and even if you think it might not be something we consider, please contact us. And for patients, we plan on launching a patient registry either late this year or early in 2018. How can you help? Well, join our effort. You can sign up for the patient registry at lipedema.org or email us at info@lipedema.org. You can share our resources to other patients and researchers, such as the Lipedema Giving Smarter Guide, which you all have, and our Bodies as Stories photo essay, which is on our Smug Mug gallery, the FDRS Smug Mug gallery, and all the links to that is on our website. Like us on Facebook, get the word out. We know very little about lipedema, and we have a long road ahead, so join us because it takes a village to move diseases forward. Thank you.